here to this place called Poets Park, and it's actually close to the river, the Hutt River here. And I've just come down to, I don't know really, just to try and find a spot to fly the drone. See if I can get something out of it. I actually want to see what the JPEG photos are like. And now that oh, there's a kiddo. But yeah, I'm pretty keen to see what the JPEG photos are like out of this thing. Okay guys, let's have a quick look at the river and then we'll take some photos. So now we're up in the air. I'll let you know the reason I'm making this video is because the photo capabilities of these drones is not often covered in much detail. And actually I don't propose to cover it in much detail here either, just have a look at them and show you what the JPEGs out of the DJI Mini SE look like. Okay, so we're going to jump into Pro settings. We're in JPEG of course. We're going to set our shutter, just brighten that up a bit, ISO 100. Now we've got the shot, tap to focus. Seems like a fixed aperture here. I'm going to flip around and see if we can get a shot in the other direction. Here we go. Oh, that looks like not a bad shot. We've got the beams. Just go a little bit higher. Lift the gimbal a wee bit to get a little bit more sky. We're going to come around. We're working on the composition. Now we're going to work on the exposure. I'd like to lighten that up a little bit, I think. Get a few more highlights in the shot. And then we'll take this shot. I'm going to work with these to see what they're like. Okay, so the photos you are looking at here, I have done a little bit of processing in Lightroom, just to the highlights and the shadows and the contrast and so forth, but no retouching like in Photoshop or anything like that. Okay, this photo here is a bit tricky in the exposure. We've got some challenging lights, so it's going to jump up a bit higher. Oh yeah, here we go. You can see a wee bit more of the river. The JPEGs can be a little bit tricky to edit and they can be a bit blocky to work with, but you can still get some great images out of it if you just work at it. So that's it. We just had a quick fly of the drone to test out the JPEG images, and as you saw, we're able to adjust things like the shutter speed and the ISO, but you can't adjust the aperture. It's a fixed aperture camera. And so although that gives you a little bit of scope in being able to adjust your exposure, which is really important, mind you, because you don't have the latitude to be able to edit the photo like you would do if it was a raw file after the shot. So you should use those adjustable parameters to try and get the exposure as close as possible to what you're looking for during the time of the shot. But hey, the best photos don't come from being shot raw. They come from the composition, they come from the exposure, they come from the focus, they come from the subject, they come from the storytelling, all of those things. So you can get fantastic shots out of the Mini SE using the JPEG settings that are available to you. Hey, before you take off, I do have some other videos about the DJI Mini SE right here. Please check them out, and otherwise we'll catch you next time. Bye.